City boy, city boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video. And you know we gotta go ahead and do our Friday Night SmackDown review. And to sum up this whole show, I'll explain to you exactly how I feel. Like, with using a segment that happened in this show, I'll explain to you how this show went and what kind of show this was. Okay? Cody Rhodes, at the end of the show, comes out after Drew McIntyre, seemingly attacked Jacob Fatu backstage. All right. Cody Rhodes comes out after Nick Aldis comes out. Nick Aldis is accusing Drew McIntyre of being the man that did the deed. And Cody Rhodes comes out livid, comes out hyped for absolutely no reason.
The people really wanted to see a number one contenders match. How are you gonna do this? What are you doing?
And he's all over the place. He's hyped. He's screaming.
The people wanted to see a number one contenders match.
No, he didn't. Cody, no, we didn't. No. All of us. I'm 90% of the audience at the very least, right? None of us wanted to see that match. None of us. Because what was it gonna do? It was either gonna bury Fatu even more, or it was gonna bury Drew even more. Nobody wanted to see that match. At least not without a real storyline to it, right? But Fatu gets written off of TV, right? And Cody Rhodes, he comes out, and like I said, he's hot. He's livid. He's like, you know what? I'm going to do it right now. We got to give the people something right now. I'm going to do something right now. You want to do it? Let's do it. I don't like Cody Rhodes when he gets hyped. I don't like Cody Rhodes, period. But when he gets hyped, oh man, is he just grating on the ears, man. He is just the worst thing since fucking moldy bread. You know what I'm saying? Like, the worst thing. So, just when I think it can't get any worse, they start brawling, right? Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, who was in the ring at the time, he hops out of the ring, right? And they start brawling. 2.5 seconds into them starting to brawl, we cut to a picture-in-picture commercial. 2.5 seconds after they started to brawl, we cut to a picture-in-picture. Oh my goodness. Man, this is oh man. You just had to get that little bit of you just had to get that ad revenue, didn't you, Triple H? You just had to get that shit, didn't you? And look, maybe you don't understand exactly how advertisements work on TV, and that's okay, right? But basically, the show gets a lot of time slots, right? They get certain time slots throughout their runtime, and they can choose the time slots that they want to use for advertisements. Triple H and TKO, they opt to use every single one every single week. They use every single opportunity to throw an ad at you to do it. And they were willing to cut in the middle of, it wasn't like, it was something, right? It was at least more interesting, right, than Motor City versus Los Garza. I'll give it that, right? This was something actually starting to happen in the show. And then as soon as it starts to get a little bit interesting, right, you cut to commercial, picture in picture. So while Domino's or whoever the fuck is on this side, Patriot generators and shit, while that's on this side of the screen, the right side of the screen, I'm seeing in the little box where wrestling is, right? I'm seeing in that little box, Cody Rhodes and Drew, they're going at it. These motherfuckers is all outside the ring. These motherfuckers brawling into the audience. These motherfuckers brawling all over the arena. And then once we come back from commercial, these motherfuckers, they throw them back over the barricade. Like, They're going right back over the barricade, right into the ring to get started with this punk-ass match. And you want to know how this match ended? All right, I know I'm burying the lead. I haven't even talked about the beginning of the show. Because the beginning of the show and then coming into the end of the show, it just makes this thing egregious, right? But we have to talk about the ending before we can talk about the beginning in this particular episode because of the bullshit, right? So as I said, Drew McIntyre, he just did Jacob Fatu wrong, did Jacob Fatu dirty, beat him bloody in the back, and now Jacob Fatu is written off of TV. We saw reports that, you know, he had a wrestling injury or a non-wrestling injury, right? But we didn't know how he was going to get written off, if he was going to get written off, if he was just going to disappear, you know what I mean? So that question got answered. So Cody Rhodes comes out hype at Drew McIntyre because what? He's breaking all the rules? Like, if they're leaning into the corporate Cody thing, they have to understand that Cody's now the heel, right? Like, we don't like corporatism. Like, the vast majority of people don't like corporate cucks, right? That's just what it is. The vast majority of people. So if you're gonna make Cody lean into the corporate Cody shtick, then he has to be a heel at this point, right? But before we get there, right? He comes out and he is livid at Drew McIntyre because we wanted to see the number one contenders match. We wanted to see the number one contenders match, right? Cody Rhodes then breaks the rules. He uses his championship to hit Drew over the head so he could lose the match but keep the title. He knew he was going to get his ass whooped because he went out there in that punk-ass suit, that trench coat, you know what I'm saying? Very Batman-esque. So he just used the title to get himself out of the situation. Then continued to brawl. They just continued to brawl until basically the security came out to break them up. That's how the show ended last night. With Cody Rhodes screaming at the top of his lungs over rules. Because the people wanted to see a number one contenders match. They wanted to see the match. No, they didn't. I promise they didn't. Anything else, like this segment was more entertaining than that match would have been, in my opinion, most likely. Like this segment, even though this segment was not entertaining at all, right? Or at least it was like a 2 out of 10 type of segment. But it was far more entertaining and has less, the implications aren't as bad from this match as they would have been from either Drew or Jacob Fatu losing. All right, neither of them could afford to have lost aura. Nobody can afford to lose anymore, right? Jacob Fatu, he's already teetering, right? He's already teetering because of the fact that he's been losing lately and ever since he lost the United States Championship and ever since the ending of the solo feud, now he doesn't really have much to do. And he's just going around speaking gibberish to people, right? Yara me, all gas, no brakes with it. Yara me, right? This is all he says. This is all he talks about these days. So he's teetering. Drew McIntyre, he's been jobbed out. That man is jobbed to job. Like, that man is just jobbed completely, right? So neither of them could afford a loss. So this was better than anything, like any match that they could have given. But the show started out tonight, right, with a promo from Cody Rhodes, right? And you might think, oh, so Cody was there pretty much all night. He was there, being a part of a story, right? Actually moving a story forward. What was Cody doing? Cody was trying to get the audience hyped for the number one contenders match. Cody, I'm gonna start calling him Don Cody King. Okay, I'm gonna start calling him Don Cody King because he is nothing but a promoter. All right, Don Cody King comes out and he's trying to get people hyped for the number one contenders match. He doesn't even talk about himself, right? The only thing he says about, I lost the match with Seth Rollins. It is what it is. We'll probably fight again one of these days. You know how things work around here. We get 8, 9, 10, 11 rematches regardless. So it is what it is. But what I'm focused on tonight is this match between Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu. Will it be the Scottish Warrior as the number one contender? Or somebody you know well? Somebody you're quite familiar with? Somebody who's from around this area, right? The Samoan werewolf. What is this nigga talking about? Why are you hyping them up like this, bro? Why are you hyping them up like if they make money? You know what I'm saying? Like, the way that Cody Rhodes is hyping him up is like, it doesn't matter whether whoever wins, right? Because Cody Rhodes isn't the one who has to fight him. You have to fight whoever's next. I'm expecting, if you're gonna cut one of these types of promos, at least have the balls or the gumption to say, I don't care who wins, whoever it is, they gonna get their ass whooped, handled by me, okay? Doesn't matter. Gotta bounce back, right? Whoever it is, they're gonna get smacked up a couple, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, right? I might drop an elbow. I might drop an elbow on that ass. Whoever, like, just say something. Say something that can be some kind of, you know what I mean? Like, do something. Cody Rhodes has nothing, man. Nothing. This was a 7 minute segment or so. 7 minute segment of entrances, Nick Aldis's introduction. Nick Aldis is the one welcoming the people to SmackDown. Like, this shit is just too corporate. It's far too corporate. Triple H had to get a fire lit under his ass, and his answer was, okay, well, we're gonna have Cody Rhodes come out. We're gonna have him cut a promo. All right. We're going to have Zaruka come up from NXT and lose their first match. Okay. All right. You with me? Okay. So Zaruka, we're going to bury them under Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, even though people are already tired of that. People have been tired of that. Zarya is like a new thing. It could be something in the future. I could, since they've been telling me to, light a fire under my ass and tell better stories, I could just give this title to these young ones and then have the old bucks try to, make up for that. I could do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them lose their first match on WWE programming, on WWE main event television. All right. Or main roster television. There we go. And then after that 20-minute atrocity of a match, I'm gonna have, what's his name? Vic and Corey. I'm gonna have them talk about how, it's not a bad thing that they lost. It's not a bad thing that Zaruka lost tonight. It's not a bad thing that Sol Ruka and Zarya. It's not a bad thing they lost tonight. They lost to two champions, two future Hall of Famers. There's no reason to hang your head. There's no reason. They lost, man. They lost. Why is it no longer a bad thing to lose? This is not an athletic bout. There's supposed to be storylines attached to this shit. These two bitches lost, and now we're supposed to be like, oh, well, at least they did their best. At least they tried. No, they lost. They lost their first match. This is something that never used to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would come to the main roster, and you would be guaranteed, unless you were just booked, like you were pegged to be a jobber, right? You would come to WWE, and you would lose, or you would win your first match, because it's your first match. We want to see if you're over, if the people are going to react when you win. They didn't even get that opportunity. Triple H didn't even give them that opportunity. Why would you put them in the first match that you put them in is a title match just so you can have them lose? And then in the next segment, right? You have Ilia, or not the next segment, I should say, because you had Jacob Fatu. He was speaking gibberish to Cody Rhodes, basically saying goodbye, right? Not saying goodbye, but you kind of felt it was like, he's getting a lot of time right now. They're probably actually going to write him off today, right? It was kind of like the young sergeant, you know what I mean? The young buck in the military in the movie. How he comes up to the old sergeant or the main character, and he's like, "Oh, when I get out of the war, I'm gonna see my family. We're gonna have a big family. And then in the next scene, he gets fucking domed. He gets fucking shot in the face. That's basically what this segment was, right? We move on. There was a Aleister Black and Zelina Vega vignette that nobody's gonna care about. Like Zelina Vega is gonna do the Andrade thing with Aleister Black. They're gonna be like a bootlegged fucking Karrion Kross and Scarlett. I don't think it's gonna work. I think Zelina is good in this role as a manager, so maybe who knows? Maybe it might, but it doesn't matter. Anybody who's in any role in this company, because Triple H is the one writing it, right? Triple H, Road Dogg, whoever. Triple H is the one that is saying, "All right, this is going to screen." Right? Triple H is that guy Triple H is the main one who gets to decide what goes on TV and what does not. And as long as he's in charge of that, it doesn't matter what character wins what, right? Like, let's move on to the next segment, match, whatever, right? First, it was Sami Zayn backstage where it was Miz. He was saying something about it has to be big, it has to be big, it has to be grand, right? Something. He was saying something to Nick Aldis, and Nick Aldis was like, all right, well, I'll think about it. Sami Zayn comes up, he's like, oh, well, I thought I had a match tonight. I'm not even on the show tonight. And I'm like, yes, right? And then Nick Aldis is like, well, the MFTs, they whipped your ass last week, and then they whipped Shinsuke's ass, so I just wanted to keep you safe. Sammy's like, oh, well, baby, you don't got to keep me safe, baby. I got this, baby. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta keep me safe, daddy. I got this. You know what I mean? I'm living life lavishly and luxuriously. I'm trying to defend this title. You know what I mean? This means everything to me. It means everything to a lot of people back there. So I gotta defend it. Nick Aldis was like, cute. So Sami Zayn runs out. He's getting ready to defend his title. Ilia Dragunov makes his return after 16 or 17 months. Ilia Dragunov wins this match. Now, I was surprised, right? So there's one thing that I'll give Triple H a compliment on. He surprised me for once. He actually had Ilia win this, and I just had one thing to ask. So why the fuck does Ilia Dragunov get to take off for a year and a half? He wasn't over before he left, right? He was not over. Right? Nobody was talking about him. Nobody was missing Ilia Dragunov while he was gone. Why does he get to leave, come back, win the United States Championship on his first match back? But Trick Williams is still in NXT. Javon Evans is still in NXT. And Javon Evans, he lost his first match. He lost his first SmackDown match a couple of weeks ago, right? Javon Evans is still down there. Carmelo Hayes has been on the roster for over a year, giving you at least decent promos, decent storylines. And Carmelo Hayes, he's not going to get rewarded, right? He's not going to get rewarded for that. No. He's going to get rewarded with a fucking match against The Miz, right? Why is it that Obafemi is still in NXT? Why is it that Sol Ruka and Zarya, they get a chance to come up to the main roster, but Kalani Jordan, fucking Jada Parker, you know what I'm saying? Lash Legend, why are they still in NXT? And they've been there for long. Why is Wes Lee getting released and fucking Ilia Dragunov, who has way less charisma than Wes Lee? Wes Lee at least had something. Why is Ilia Dragunov? Why does he get a chance to come back and just beat Sami Zayn? I'm glad the title's off Sami Zayn, so I'm not going to complain too much. But once again, it just goes to show. Sami Zayn, he goes and he whips off. He just beats a bunch of ethnic people, right? He kicks out of an attitude adjustment in one of his matches. Beats up a bunch of ethnic people. Beats up Javon Evans. Beats up fucking what's his face? Shinsuke. Beats up fucking I think it was Ray Phoenix who also challenged him. Beats up motherfucking, I guess Aleister Black was his last opponent before. I think it was Aleister Black this last time. Was it? I forget who his opponent was last week. I mean, these matches, they all just run together at this point. But the guy he loses to, another blue blood, baby. You know what I'm talking about? Another blue blood, baby. You know what I'm talking about? That boy white is all outside, boy. That boy white as the driven snow. That boy whiter than a paper plate on a snowstorm with a glass of milk. You know, like that boy is white, man. All right, that's all I'm saying. Okay, glad it's all the same as but like I said, it doesn't matter who wins what around here because the writer is Triple H, and Triple H sucks. So it is what it is. It's good that he won or whatever. Good for him, but nobody cares, right? After that, we got a Motor City Machine Gun match, all right, and Los Garza match. It was like a segment that led into a match. I didn't care about any of this. I guess Motor City has been on the roster for a year. All right, they've been jobbing for a year. Nobody cares. And then after that, we got that Cody Rhodes promo, and or not Cody Rhodes. We got the segment where Jacob Fatu, he got attacked from behind, and the racks were all on him. You know what I mean? We're doing the whole shtick again of, oh well, I didn't do it, right? I didn't do it. Who done it? Who done it? It was obviously Drew, but he's like, well, I had nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with that. And we're gonna do a more tell don't show, right? We're never gonna see the actual thing that happened to Jacob Fatu. All we're gonna know is that, you know, this thing happened, and now Drew McIntyre is, you know, number one contender, and now Drew McIntyre will be losing once again to Cody Rhodes at Saturday Night Main Event. Great. Awesome. All right. What y'all think about the show? Do y'all think Chat GPT is helping out Triple H with this show? Was this a Chat GPT show? All right. Because it seemed like the flow was a little different, but it was still ass, right? It was still all ass. The content was all ass. All right. 15 to 20 minute matches with 4 or 5 commercials in each match. Can't get behind it. Nothing really happening backstage. Cody Rhodes shrieking at the top of his lungs. Can't really get behind it. So let me know what y'all thought about this show down in the comments below. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 10. Like and subscribe if you want to hear some more. And this has been your boy, Nate the Great, back with another video. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.